As you know from part 1, each team has an offensive unit, defensive unit, and special teams units. Football has a lot of different positions. Every position requires a different body type, skill set, and traits, which is why football players are highly specialized, and it is very rare at higher levels that a player plays multiple positions. An important term to know is line of scrimmage, LOS. The line of scrimmage goes from sideline to sideline and is located where the ball is placed on the field after every down, which means the ball marks the new line of scrimmage after every play. The length of the ball determines how wide the line of scrimmage is. The area inside the line of scrimmage is called neutral zone. Neither the offense or defense are allowed to pass the line of scrimmage or be inside the neutral zone before the center snaps the ball, which starts a play. A play is over when the ball carrier is tackled to the ground or steps out of bounds. Thrown ball touches the ground before it is caught, or the offense scores points. After a play is over, the referees assess how many yards the offense gained or lost and place the ball accordingly on the new line of scrimmage, but between the hash marks. Another important thing to know is that the offense does not randomly try to pass or run the ball. Before every play, the offense gets together in a huddle and the coach informs the quarterback what play they'll try next. The quarterback then announces the play to his teammates in the huddle and the offense lines up to run the play. For the defense, it's the same process, with the exception that their formations often have to shift or the play that was called by the coach has to be changed to fit the formation or the expected play of the offense. Typically, every coach has his own playbook from which he chooses the plays that he calls. Because of the variety of positions and the size of playbooks, there's an offense and a defense coordinator as well as position coaches. In some teams, all plays are called by the coordinators, and the head coach is only responsible for time management or other tasks. In most teams though, the head coach calls offensive plays and the defense coordinator manages defensive plays. Unlike most other sports, coaches have a big impact on the outcome of the game. Besides the crucial play calling, they are also responsible for time management, player substitutions, and analyzing the strategy and plays of the opposing team before, during, and after the game. The head coach is responsible for calling timeouts, challenging plays or decision by referee, and accepting or declining penalties. This is why coaches play such an important role in football. Let's start with the offense. The job of the offense is to score points. The captain or leader of the offense is the quarterback, QB. Every regular down starts with the center snapping the ball through his legs to the quarterback. Then, depending on what play the coach or quarterback called prior to the snap, the quarterback will pass or hand off the ball to a teammate or run with the ball himself. The 5 players in front of the quarterback are called offensive line. Their job is to protect the quarterback when he's trying to pass the ball or open up gaps for a teammate that is running the ball. The player in the middle of the offensive line is called center. The players left and right of the center are called offensive guards. And the players at the sides are offensive tackles. Offensive linemen are usually the tallest and biggest players on the field. Behind the quarterback are the running backs. There are 2 types of running backs: fullback and halfback or tailback. The primary role of running backs is to receive handoffs from the quarterback to run the ball. When the offense does not attempt a run play, the running backs either block defenders in the backfield or go on a passing route. Most of the time when the offense attempts a run play, the quarterback will give the ball to the halfback and the fullback serves as his personal protector. This is why fullbacks tend to be bigger and stronger compared to the halfbacks, who are usually faster and more versatile. The players whose primary job is catching passes are called wide receivers. Just like every other offensive player, they block defenders when a run play is attempted. Positioned right next to the offensive line is the tight end. The tight end is a mix of wide receiver and offensive lineman. he either runs a passing route and is a potential receiver, or stays with the offensive line and blocks defenders to keep them out of the backfield. In theory, the offense doesn't require any position on the field. The offense could play with no quarterback and add another position instead. This strategy is known as wildcat formation. The offense can play with 5 wide receivers or no wide receivers on the field and so on. However, there are certain rules and restrictions that the offense has to obey. The most important rules include 11 players must be on the field at all times. The offensive team must have at least 7 players at the line of scrimmage. Out of all players at the line of scrimmage, only the ones at the side are allowed to catch a forward pass. Also, the offense may only throw 1 forward pass per play. Offensive linemen are always ineligible to catch a forward pass, unless a lineman reports as eligible to the referee before the snap. The referee then announces the report to the defense and the fans. All other eligible players must be at least 1 yard away from the line of scrimmage to remain eligible to catch a forward pass. At the moment the ball is snapped, all offensive players must be stationary before moving. Only one offensive player is allowed to be in motion at snap, and the motion must be parallel to the line of scrimmage or backwards. After assuming a set position, no offensive player may charge or move abruptly to lead the defense to believe the play has started. The job of the defense is to stop the offense from making forward progress and scoring points. The players lining up directly in front of the offensive line are called defensive line. The name of the positions in the middle of the defensive line change depending on what formation the defense is running. If there are only 4 defensive linemen, the ones in the middle are called defensive tackles. If there are 3 defensive linemen, the one in the middle is called nose tackle. The players at the side of the defensive line are called defensive ends. The primary role of the defensive line is to prevent the quarterback from passing or at least put him under pressure, and stop the running back when a run play is attempted. Behind the defensive line are the linebackers. Linebackers primarily cover running backs and tight ends. The ones in the middle are called middle linebackers, and the ones at the sides are outside linebackers. The players whose main job is covering receivers are known as defensive backs. There are 2 types of defensive backs: cornerbacks and safeties. Cornerbacks are usually the lightest and quickest players on the field. They line up close to the wide receivers and follow their passing routes to prevent them from being open for a pass. Safeties, as the name suggests, are the last defenders and mainly cover receivers deep down the field. Just like the offensive team, the defense must have 11 players on the field at all times. All defensive players are free to move before and at snap. No defensive position is required, and all positions can be substituted for other positions. Defensive team players may position themselves wherever they like on their side of the line of scrimmage. Unlike the offensive team, the defense is not required to have a certain number of players line up at the line of scrimmage. Although the defense is allowed to move before and at snap, they must not make abrupt or charging motions to get offensive players to move before the snap.